Sake Geeks, welcome back to another episode of Sake Geek. I'm Dominic. If you're just getting into sake or you know a little bit about it and you just can't get enough, like me, you have found your people. Please like and subscribe. This is the first episode in what I hope will become a series of episodes called Geek Out. Tonight we're going to geek out about a really special sake. As I come across one of these really interesting, delicious, or special in some way sakes, it's my hope to share that with you. And I found one in the basement of a department store in Fukuoka City. It is this Gozenshu regular number 9 from Okayama Prefecture. As you can see from the label here, there's English, old question mark, new question mark, now, 9. So just seeing this bottle on the shelf immediately caught my eye, so I thought I would give it a try. Did some research on it and found out that this was really a special sake for a couple of reasons. The first reason being that it is made with Omachi rice. And if you know a little bit about sake, you know that sake is made with special sake brewing rice. And of that brewing rice, there are at least 100 varieties. And of those 100 varieties, Omachi is probably one of the top 1 or 2 in terms of fame. It's famous because it's really one of the earliest selected rice varieties for sake brewing. This variety of rice has a history going back to the mid-19th century, and in addition to being a unique rice by itself, it's also the parent of what you would probably call the king of sake rice, Yamada Nishiki. So the fact that it's brewed with Omachi rice makes it special, makes it interesting to a sake geek like me. The second reason this sake is so interesting is the starter method. This is a sake made with an old starter method called bodai moto. When you make sake, you need a starter, or a smaller amount that you then add more ingredients to. And the reason that we do that when we make sake is you want to develop a very high concentration of yeast that are strong enough and densely populated in the mash so that no other bacteria or organism can really take hold in that environment. So sake brewers do this by making a shubo, or a starter, or a moto, a smaller tank that is a precursor to the bigger batch. Nowadays, most sake is made with a quicker method called sokujo. When you make a sokujo starter, you are adding lactic acid that comes from a laboratory, a pure culture of lactic acid, to acidify your starter. By acidifying the starter, you kill off any other baddies that might be in there. The yeast don't mind that acidic environment, so they multiply and they thrive, and you kind of sanitize your starter that way. We know sake brewing goes back hundreds of years, so what did they do before they had these sterile cultures of lactic acid that they added in? They used to just let the lactic acid form by itself by the way of lactic acid bacteria, and there are a few ways even to do that. Of those 3 ways, the bodai moto is the oldest way. In fact, it has history going back to the 15th century. And basically what you do is you let rice, uncooked rice, soak in water for about 3 to 10 days, and then the naturally occurring lactic acid bacteria that are in the ambient environment fall in there. They start to create lactic acid, a little bit of CO2, and a small amount of alcohol. They do actually break the starch down a little bit in the same way that koji does. And the monks, when they see little bubbles start to appear from the CO2, they know that they've got the right kind of bacteria in there, and then they take some further steps before they create the brew. So this is a bodai moto, and why is it special other than the fact that it has this legacy? It's special exactly because of that lactic acid. Bodai moto sakes are distinguished by a bit of a lactic acid note, so a little bit of a dairy kind of aroma, and a good firm acidity. And in my experience also a pretty silky mouthfeel. So those are the 2 reasons why I'm really excited about this sake. And this practice was kind of perfected and then codified and then documented at a temple in Nara Prefecture, a little bit southeast of Kyoto, in the hills there, called Shoryakuji. And Shoryakuji is an interesting place. It's really just kind of nestled away on the side of a mountain in Nara Prefecture. And I visited there in July Unbeknownst to me, there was really nothing happening there. I thought I might go in and get a peek. All I got to do was take a picture next to this plaque commemorating the birthplace of Bodai Moto. And for a sake geek, I thought that was kind of cool. But they do the Bodai Moto brewing at that temple still for some local Nara sake breweries. So the breweries will actually go there to get some moto, some starter to make their own sake with, which is really, really neat. So I've told you everything I pretty much know about this sake, other than the fact that the folks at Tsuji Honten are an interesting bunch. There's 9 brewers, hence the name, 9. And the brother and sister that run the brewery, the brother is the brewery owner and the sister is actually the toji. So maybe that's a third reason why it's special. Not a lot of women are employed as tojis, unfortunately, in Japan. So I'm really excited to open this up and give it a try. Even more so because I have some leftover zucchini cakes in the fridge, and I think that those zucchini cakes and this sake just might be a perfect marriage. So when Brittany gets home, we'll give them a try. Okay, so we're ready to taste the Gozenshu number 9, and my wife Brittany is here.
Hello.
She cooked some really delicious zucchini cakes last night for dinner. And what's in the zucchini cake?
Shredded zucchini and onion. There's some breadcrumb and flour and cheese. And then the herbs are dill and parsley, salt and pepper.
So what I was thinking with the Bodai Moto and the lactic acidity in this sake and the notes of dairy and the Omachi rice and the herbaceous quality that you sometimes get from that, and also the depth and the richness, I think it would be a perfect pairing. So,
all right,
kanpai.
Let's do it. Kanpai.
There's something rich on the nose. Smells like it's got some depth to it. Pretty soft.
It tastes very well balanced to me. But
it is well balanced, and I think it's really, really clean as well.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of depth, but it's also really quite clean.
Yeah, really clean finish. This seems like a sake that like you would want to give to someone that hasn't tried a lot of sake before, because again, it's very well balanced and it's sweet but not overly sweet, and it's not very rich.
Let's taste.
All right, let's do it.
So you're the chef, so you go first.
Okay, well.
Do you need some more sake?
Yes, please. It's just yogurt and dill and lemon zest and raw fresh garlic, salt and pepper.
I think that's really, really good. The zucchini is somewhat kind of sweet when you cook it down, and I don't know if you can tell, but there's a nice little crusty caramelized layer. Something about that caramelized crispiness and the sake is just meeting perfectly. It's really, really, really good combination.
Yeah, it pairs really, really well. Like, they're not fighting against each other in any kind of way.
The onion and the cheese and the yogurt sauce and the herbs, it's a kind of a, there's a lot going on there too, so it's just a really nice mix of flavors. Plenty of umami in this sake, and yet it's still a bit fresh and clean. So you're getting some depth at the bottom and then some brightness from the acidity. I think probably from the Bodai Moto.
Yeah. We will link down below the person's YouTube page that has the recipe. Their name is Iko Heute, which means I cook today in German. So you should check them out, and take care. Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that tasting. This is a really enjoyable sake, and it just seems to be a great companion for pretty much anything you can imagine. There's acidity there, but it still has a kind of clean finish. There's some depth. We really enjoyed drinking this sake, and I saved a little bit at the bottom, so we're going to be heating that up as well. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check the other videos that we've got. There's some links here. I just finished the hot sake set where I tried to share with you everything that I know about hot sake. So please, if you haven't seen them, don't forget to take a look. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Dominic. Thank you again for watching. Kanpai.